I gotta show all you. All right, so you're out drinking with your best friend from high school you haven't seen in 15 years. You know you've had too many beers to drink, so you go ahead and call a cab or an Uber to give you a ride home. You try to get your best friend to get in with you, and he won't do it. So you're like, I'll just let him drive home. We've done that in high school. He can do it now too. Well, the next day you open up Facebook, you turn on the news, or you get a phone call saying your best friend was killed in a crash, and he killed the entire other family because he hit him head on. You say to yourself, well, he made his own decision. What could I have done? Take his keys? And my answer is, at the bare minimum, absolutely. Everybody here has driven their car on the road today and probably does every day. And I've been a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper for 7 years. I've devoted my career to DWI and first enforcement. I was recently invited to a MAD conference, which was a great honor to be at. And you never know the impact an impaired driver has until you experience it or hear someone else's experience. So let's talk about the problem of drunk driving. The National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration is responsible for keeping roadways safe in various different ways. One is education and training in the prevention of impaired driving. Here's a breakdown on how alcohol begins to affect the body and judgment skills. A blood alcohol concentration, or BAC, of 0.020% will cause you to be relaxed, have a loss of judgment, and decline in divided attention tasks. A BAC of 0.050, you will have an exaggerated behavior, impaired judgment, lowered alertness, reduced coordination, and reduced reactionary time. A BAC of 0.080%, you have poor muscle coordination, judgment, poor self-control, poor reasoning, your memory is impaired, you have reduced speed control, and impaired perception. NHTSA has done several studies across the United States, and has led to each state adopting a certain level of alcohol concentration in your blood system to determine what is an impairment and what is not. This is called the per se limit. With the exception of the state of Utah, every other state has adopted the per se limit of 0.080%. So 0.080% is legal, so I'm good, right? And we'll come back to that here in a minute. So 33% of the people every year are killed in crashes across the United States, which is well over 12,000 people for the year 2018. 20% of these people, the drivers that caused the crash, were between a 0.020 and a 0.079, which is less than the legal limit. This contributed to a total cost of $44 billion per year for the crashes, and that's not including legal fees. So that's about 30 people every day, and 1 every 48 minutes die from an alcohol-related crash. Those totals came from NHTSA as well. AAA reports that Americans spend between 290 and 350 hours a year driving. That's not including the commercial drivers. And that could be in between 10 and 13,000 miles a year. And on any given day, there might be 300,000 incidents of driving while intoxicated. It's 300,000 driving while intoxicated drivers. If that is you, you're putting your family, your friends, yourself at risk. So we've looked at the risks. How do we solve the problem? It's a simple decision not to get in the car and drive, or try to prevent someone from driving. And there's plenty of opportunities, so let's talk about a couple of them. BusinessApps.com reported Uber has about 900,000 active drivers in 35 states across the United States. Lyft, which is similar to Uber, has about 1.4 million employed drivers worldwide. The Department of Labor reports 208,000 taxi cab companies in the United States. And the United States Department of Transportation reported 212 million licensed drivers in the United States. So that's 2% roughly 215 million chances to not drive impaired. So simply making the decision not to drive and or using the services to call a friend could help this situation and save someone's life or your own. If you decide not to drink and drive, you've helped the problem. If you convince your friend to not drink and drive, you have helped with the problem. It's your responsibility to keep your friends and your family or who you know drinking from driving. So we've looked at the risks, we've looked at the causes. Let's look at some benefits and some consequences. Some benefits could be no jail time for you and no expensive legal fees, which could be from $3,000 to $5,000 per incident. In the state of Missouri, the first time DWI, you could face up to $2,000 fine, up to six months in jail. And each subsequent offense just gets higher and higher from there. You could die, your friends could die, your family could die, someone else could die. You could have the guilt knowing you could have prevented this by simply not driving or keeping that person from driving. And also, the other expenses include raises in insurance, loss of driver license, having to deal with the court system, not being able to drive to work. And if we don't take the action, these numbers are going to continue to go up as they have in the past years, and people are going to continue to get killed or put in jail or prison. It's up to us to make a difference now. So I've given you a problem. I've explained a solution, and I've detailed consequences if we don't change. And I've given benefits if we do change. So let's put that together and eliminate this simple decision-making issue and prevent drinking and driving. The difference can be made if we choose to, so help me choose to. Too many people are affected by simple bad decisions every day, and that's all it is, a bad decision. And this bad decision could be made into a good decision and ultimately save many, many lives. Hopefully after this, instead of talking about that one time you and your friend got arrested, you can talk about the time you and your friend didn't get arrested and made it home safely.